This is ST-321, code clearance blue. We're starting our approach to deactivate the security shield.
Hi, I'm Paul and I'm with my mate James and welcome to Code Clearance Blue, a show where we discuss all things Star Wars from our home here in the UK.
We would be honoured if you would join us.
I've been looking forward to this.
Welcome everybody to Code Clearance Blue. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all those that celebrate. Going Christmassy myself. Paolo's got his Christmas tree green t-shirt on. So we're in the holiday spirits, mate. You looking forward to it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's good time of year, a bit more chilled out. Well, it's not really, but you know what I mean, like work chills out a bit, but then it all kicks off. But yeah, I've definitely I always get to a bit of this Christmas sort of week where I can't really drink that much because I've overdone it. And this year is the same.
Been enjoying a little bit of eggnog, shall we say?
A bit of eggnog, a bit of blue milk, a bit too much. And yeah, so, but yeah, no, it is a good time of year to, to celebrate and to watch obviously a lot of Star Wars stuff.
Absolutely.
Very traditional this time of year.
Absolutely. Have you gotten the children any Star Wars adjacent gifts?
Yeah, so I've got my younger one who likes sort of dressing. He's got a Boba Fett outfit already, but now I've got him the actual Mandalorian one with the real, because he's got like a flat Boba Fett sort of mask, but now I've got him actually the real helmet.
Nice.
With a bit of armor. So yeah, that will go down well. And a bit of Star Wars Lego, quite a bit of Star Wars Lego for the other one.
Excellent. Any particular kits at all? Or?
I think the biggest bit he's got some Marvel as well. The Marvel one's quite good. It's the Spider-Man. It's called Spider-Man End Scene. And it's when he sort of, when all the three Spider-Men fight all the enemies and they have all that scaffolding.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff. It's like that. It's quite a crazy set. But
Sweet.
Star Wars related, it's I think a couple of clone trooper sort of ships. He wanted, so there's the red one, not the big sort of cruisers, but the smaller ones.
Yeah, like the gunships or something.
The gunships, yeah, that's it. Yeah,
awesome.
So yeah, that's because he did like episode 2. We've been watching quite a bit of that. When the gunships come flying in. So yeah, that's always good. Love a bit of Lego. I'm glad they're liking the Star Wars Lego. So yeah, that's sort of, what about you?
Yeah, I got actually, I got the youngest story box cards of like the original trilogy. So, because at the moment he's got one that's called like 5-minute Star Wars stories, and it's fine, but it just like doesn't use the real music, and it just only tells like a very small snippet from like each of the episodes. So I found like the original trilogy card, which I think has got like, it's more like licensed. So
right, brilliant.
It'll be the full stories of the films at
They're
least.
like the tune boxes, like the way you put the thing in and it plays.
Yeah, you just put the card in the top of the box and because he's had that for years, and he really likes it. So I thought I'll get him that. And then also I went to I think I mentioned it a couple of episodes ago. I was going to go to a small convention in the next town over at the start of December, and got some more autographs for the collection. But whilst I was there, one of the signers, a guy called Mike Quinn, who did quite a lot of puppetry and animatronics certainly in Return of the Jedi, and one of the characters that he did was Nien Nunb in the cockpit. So when they're attacking the Death Star, so both of my kids, when they were first starting to sort of notice and get into Star Wars, they both latched onto Nien Nunb as like a funny character. And when he does his little laugh, when Lando's like, "I told you he'd do it." That's the fella. So I got Mike to actually like dedicate a photo of Nien Nunb to them, and then like write like on it,
right,
and stuff, and then sign it. Because we used to watch a YouTube video where someone had spliced the laugh together, and it was like 10 minutes long. So we just used to put it on, and they'd like chuckle their heads off. So I was just like, right, I'll get them that. And then what I've done is I've made a copy of it and like made 2 copies. I'm going to put them into nice little frames and give them those as well. So yeah, just a nice little family and joke thing there, but it's quite cool. Any top trumps on the go? Maybe you got any top trump stories?
Yeah, so we've invested a little bit in the old top trumps. Well, they're beginning to like that, and yeah, like playing with sort of the 2 older ones. They seem to play by the rules a bit, but my my younger one, he he just makes it up a bit. So yeah, he doesn't like Bib Fortuna. He sort of like gives me that card. No, too scary, too scary. So I get free cards if he comes up, and then but then he just lies on every other one. So he would just say like, if he's got like an Ewok or something, and I've got the Emperor or Yoda going, power 100. So he's just like, I'm like, it says 0. It's like 100. So, yeah, he basically wins. But then when obviously you play with the other kids who are all very kid-like, it just kicks off. So we end up not playing that much if there's more kids involved. So I have to play with each different one separately.
Right.
So yeah, it's like when he was a bit younger. He's like, I don't know, about 3 or 4 maybe. When you've done the I Spy in the car, you go I Spy and like, something begin with or something, and then you sell the apple, blah, 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 and they go. He was like car seat, and then that would annoy the big one because you go, that's not One wants to play with the rules, one wants to go car seat. So anyway, yeah. So Christmas is going to be busy with them lot.
Yeah, really well.
And
I love top trumps. Like we've got like a couple of the official packs and stuff, but like there's one edition that we got, and I'm not quite sure how official it was, because a bit like the story that you just told about, like your son obviously makes the Ewok more powerful than like Palpatine, but like in this batch of cards, Vader was like force rating 7 or something, right? And then I don't know why, but force rating 8 for a Jawa. And I actually sort of tweeted this out at the time to someone who worked at Lucasfilm, who's sort of like a bit of a historian or whatever. And even they just came back and went, I have no idea what this could be.
No way.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So random.
Dear. That is. So yeah, that's the Christmas top trumps Star Wars edition, which is good.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, they've split it all up because I've only got the original trilogy ones, but they've got obviously each trilogy. They've got every fucking pack there is, and then we've got the Marvel ones, we've got the Disney classic ones. Oh my god, it's just like they know what they're doing. £8 a pop. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we've invested a lot more money into Lucasfilm and Disney this year, as we always do.
Exactly. Don't worry about Solo bombing at the cinema, because we made up for it in Top Trumps. It's fine.
Totally. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, this is our 2024 review show. We thought we'd go through the series that came out this year. Sort of, it's quite good because obviously we sort of talk about it on a weekly basis when they come out, and we talk about it, but it's quite nice sort of looking back a little bit retrospectively, even though you were just mentioning you went back a few years ago, didn't you, watching a bit of Mando?
I have, yeah. I mean, not good for this particular episode of Co-Clearance Blue, given that we're only doing 2024. But yeah, over the weekend I went back and I managed to watch Mando series 1 and 2, and I'll tell you what, mate, I really thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, really good. Even more so than like the first time round, I think. Like, I suppose because it's all brand new and you're trying to take it all in, and you're sort of wondering when the next step's going to go and all that sort of thing. But like to watch them all kind of back to back, like one after the other, and I was like, you know what, it's really good stuff.
Yeah, no, it is really good. I watched season 1 again about a month ago, and yeah, the kids actually started watching it as well. They were getting into it, and even though it's not really age appropriate, but yeah, it is really good. I think the fact that, and I think this is where Boba Fett did fail a little bit. He keeps his helmet on all the time. He just looks fucking sinister. He looks like a good character, and I think Yeah, it is a good one. But I suppose going back to 2024, we just finished Ahsoka, didn't we? Which was the back end of 2023.
Mm.
So that was sort of our gap. What was our first series that we can have a little look at?
So I think it was the final edition of the Bad Batch, I think it was, which came out pretty quickly. I think it was the end of Jan, beginning of Feb, I think.
So, this is the top team. The rogue clones on the run from the Empire, huh? Hello. How juicy.
Yeah, and obviously I was very excited for that because I thought it was going to give us like a massive reveal about cloning facilities and dark magic and, you know, Palpatine being resurrected and all that sort of thing. But again, just in terms of that one plot point, just didn't give too much of it again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it sort of touched on it. And then we sort of went away, didn't we? And then
Yeah, but then it kept coming back to it because Omega got put into that facility and everything. And
that's right.
There's like the vault where they're keeping like clones and stuff like that. So, but they never explicitly really connected it to like Palpatine in that way. I know he went to go and visit the facility and everything and all that, but it's just, I don't know. They're longing it out, and I just wonder like where they're gonna explicitly make the link. Like what series is it going to be, or what character is it going to be? You know, like to really hammer it home.
And this was the last Bad Batch, isn't it? That's it now.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I don't think there's a plan to do any more. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And even
I thought
even
it was a
you,
good series.
Yeah, that was good. I think even you warmed to Omega in the end, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, she was a little bit less annoying than season one. Yeah. So yeah, no, I think like there was enough going on in each sort of ep to go, oh, that's quite good, or that's quite, whether it's a bit of action. Obviously, we had our sort of like random episodes where they go to a random planet, and obviously a local beast will get involved, and you know there was a few of them, but that's fine. And then like we had Ventress. No, who was the random Jedi we met?
Yeah, Ventress popped up.
Ventress, yeah, and that was quite good. And then Palpatine, I really love when Palpatine sort of introduced the stormtroopers, you know, and how we need to have a, you know, that was really good when you saw all the Senate stuff.
Yeah,
yeah, it's definitely good highlights. I like the fact that, you know, poor old clone troopers, which had a bit of a link with Obi-Wan actually. You know, the fact that they didn't have a pension. You know, and a lot of them are retiring. You know, and obviously we see that one begging in the street in Obi-Wan.
yeah.
And I thought, you know, like which is which was quite good.
Oh yeah,
to
and that there was that senator who was like trying to get the new housing motion passed through or whatever.
That's right. Yeah, trying to get the pension pot ready. You know, for the
That's right.
These guys have done so much. You know, they've been so dedicated. You know, to the cause, and now they're just getting replaced. So yeah, I thought just little bits of Star Warsy stuff like that is always quite good, I think. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's like 10 out of 10 or anything, but like yeah, I thought it was quite a good little stopgap to, you know, the next sort of, you know, to live action.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it actually. I was a bit sad that when it ended because I think when it's good, it's really good. And when it's connecting into like the whole universe, you know, the sort of the episodes where they go drag racing and all that sort of thing, like they're fun,
Yeah.
but like you say, you can sort of take it or leave it, you know. But yeah, and don't forget, there's also that little cameo as well by Tarkin at the end.
Of course, yeah.
He's just like goes to visit the sort of the wreckage of what's left behind, and he's like, "This is unacceptable," you know.
Yeah.
All that caper, but yeah, no, that was really good. And then I think we got another animated series, not series, but animated little stopgap, and again, didn't we? After that,
Yeah, Tales of the Empire, yeah.
Why do you seek imperial favor?
Years ago, my people were all but destroyed. My anger gives me strength. It is that strength I offer the Empire.
Offer accepted.
I think definitely watched it when it first sort of came out. I think, oh yeah, this is good. And then I sort of watched it again recently, and I was really, again, like, because I suppose Ahsoka was sort of still in the mind, and then this sort of following Morgan, sort of her journey at the beginning. Obviously, seeing Grievous in the first episode, which was great, and the clone troopers and the battle droids and things, and then we're sort of seeing her journey and how she met Admiral Thrawn, and yeah, I thought it was a really good animation actually. I think Mr. Dave Filoni, he created it, didn't he? Didn't he actually produce that one?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just tell that and it would have been quite a good. Obviously, it was a bit more backstory for Ahsoka as well, and the Thrawn element that will be coming up, which Dave's taking care of, probably in the Grogu Mandalorian movie and any other movies around that time. So yeah, I think. Yeah, it was really good. I really was impressed with it. The animation style was good, but I just thought the actual story was good, and sort of seeing there was around Order 66, I remember, and seeing a Jedi or an old Jedi in prison watching. Do you remember that bit?
Yeah, I do vaguely.
And I think she was in one of the sort of even Clone Wars or one of those ones in the arena. You know what I mean? Because I did sort of recognise her at the time. And then anyway, yeah, all that stuff I think is really good. It's always just these different angles, a bit like how Tales of the Jedi works. You know what I mean? It's these little characters that we know from, either from the council or from the films, from those prequels, and they're just developing those stories a little bit. And I thought this was really good, and I think certainly the Acolyte sort of showed this as well, like where we still haven't really developed the dark side that much. You know what I mean? If you think about stories and TV series and the films themselves, like we haven't really gone into any of their stories yet. So I think there's definitely scope for that, and that's exactly what this has done. You know what I mean? It's just sort of opened up the dark side of it, because we see the Inquisitors in it, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, because I've not watched it as recently as you had. So is one of the episodes is where they're trying to convince that young girl to become an Inquisitor.
Yeah,
and
then, so she was the Jedi.
Yeah, and then she goes into that room, and then they're lined up, and then Vader comes in, right?
Yeah,
because they're always like, "Oh, you haven't met the boss yet."
yeah, you need to see the big man. Here he comes.
That was cool. I think Tales of the Jedi just sticks more in my mind, just purely because it was like there's a lot of like Qui-Gon and Count Dooku stuff, and then that last episode where you find out that Yaddle gets offed by Dooku and Palpatine was there to watch it and stuff.
Yeah,
just very powerful because it connects a lot to the prequel trilogy and everything. But yeah, no, I enjoyed Tales of the Empire as well, and if they sort of sprinkle those things throughout, over the next coming years or whatever, I'm not going to be complaining. I don't think.
No, they're great little series, and obviously means a lot for people like Dave Filoni to sort of produce something like that. Do you know what I mean? Which is a very small series, considering how big his sort of title is. It's quite a small series to be creating something like that.
Yeah.
If you think about the actual, the grand scheme of things, but it's obviously really important that he just ties these little bits together, and because again, Ahsoka was a bit on her own, you know what I mean? As in, we knew Morgan from obviously the Mandalorian and when he met Ahsoka then, but we know a little bit obviously about sort of the witches, a little bit in Dathomir, but if that's going to be a big thing going forward with the movies and with Ahsoka Series 2 and Thrawn, and how does she meet him, and it's quite nice just to see that.
Yeah, definitely. Because
how she got involved with the Empire. I mean, it started off her pitching some ships. I don't know if you remember this scene, but she's at the beginning. I think it's episode 2 or 3 or something, and she's pitching. It's so yeah, here's some ships that you might want to buy. They're really good designs. She's pitched them to the sort of high bees at for the Imperial team, and they're like, well, thanks for your designs, but we'll use them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they just nick the ideas, don't they?
Fucking proper. Just thanks for your ideas, love. Door's over there.
Thanks for coming in.
But luckily, they come back and visit her on in her little castle.
Yeah. Oh God,
And
yeah,
that's where
yeah.
Thrawn comes involved. But yeah, I think give it if you do have some time on your own, give it because it's only like 20 minutes each, and they're good little back to backs, And there's all these little things that you just pick up on again. You know what I mean? A bit
Yeah.
like what you said about Mandalorian, that you just sort of see this stuff again, and you're like, oh yeah, like oh that's quite good. I remember that, and that's fits into that.
Yeah. No, definitely. I will watch it again at some point for sure.
All that little detail.
And it's I do like how that everything's getting sort of tied together. Particularly now, like when I think about the end of Ahsoka, it's like Thrawn and Morgan and Ezra are now back in our universe, but
Yeah.
Ahsoka and Sabine are still stuck in the other one. So yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how they pick that baton up and run with that. But yeah, I will give it another go, I think.
Yeah, great. Yeah, then so after that sort of came out in May time, I think then we had the re-release of Phantom Menace in May as well.
That's
Was
right.
that only a week? Was that one of those cheeky weeks that they done?
Yeah, it 1 week only in and out again. Bosh.
And we met up, didn't we, and decided to go and see it again in the cinema. We watched it when it first came out 25 years ago.
That's right. So and there was no melting of the film this time, which was beneficial.
No, that's good. And watching it in the cinema again was quite odd as well, wasn't it? It's quite weird considering like how many times you've seen it again, and
yeah,
and I don't know, there's just elements of that film that you just think, oh wow, there's just that Duel of the Fates moment, when they're fighting. Definitely that fight is just so good.
Yeah,
and the music and everything.
Did we think that it was a bit of a moody copy that they showed us though?
Yeah, it was a bit soft, wasn't it?
Yeah,
or was it just because it came out 25 years ago?
Maybe, but then it didn't have the old BBFC certificate at the start.
No, you're right. I mean, the one I went to, because I went to go and see it again with the kids. I think 2 days later. That had two things. That had the big certificate at the front end, and it had the Acolyte scene.
Oh yeah,
scene from the Acolyte, which was the opening scene of episode 1, which you find out a bit later.
Right.
Where Trinity gets murdered.
Yeah, I remember because when I took my youngest to go and see it again a couple of days later, I waited till the end again, like we did on the Saturday night, and again there was nothing. So I went up and I didn't grab, but I went up to this obviously 16-year-old who just works there part time on a Wednesday or whatever, and just said, "Excuse me, I've just sat through that twice now. Do you not have the Acolyte scene?" And they were just like, "Oh no, none of the copies we have got it on." I was like, "All right." So,
yeah,
bit annoying, but then also as well, I think, from my personal point of view, I'm kind of glad that I didn't get it spoiled, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
because it's the whole opening of the first ep. It's like,
it was very long. Long. But it was good. But it was good to see it again. I think, and I realised that pod race is fucking long, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what really shone for me. It's like, God, this is really long in the kind of grand scheme of the galaxy, and how much story we can develop elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But then obviously it is action packed. It is fun. He's got a kid in it. He's obviously aiming. His whole point was he's aiming at kids. You know what I mean? So whereas I would have been quite happy to see more Senate wrangling, more politics, but obviously
Paul says more politics in Star Wars.
A bit more trade federation, kicking off.
Can we have more discussion on trade routes, please, and the underlying taxations of fairways and thoroughfares, if you don't mind?
I could have more of that, please. Yeah. Or even just see more Jedi doing more random sort of things. I don't know, but it was long. But I mean, what are the odds? Old Qui-Gon finds Darth Vader. And he has to win a race to get to free freedom, and he does. And there's a lot of things that go in the favour.
Never tell me the odds.
That's it. So that was good. Anyway, that was a good week, wasn't it? Watching.
Although having said that, he does manipulate the dice, doesn't he?
He does manipulate the dice, yeah.
So it wasn't all true fate.
No, and you don't know whether he could have easily manipulated something else on Saboba's little, you know what I mean?
Possible.
It's quite far away from his.
We're
his,
quite happy to
magic
report,
fingers.
weren't we, that that re-release globally took in just over $13 million, was it?
Yeah, $13 million for nothing.
For doing nothing.
Yeah,
It's not bad, is it?
they probably spent about £200 on marketing.
Well, there was no posters. There was no like TV or radio ads or anything.
No,
it was literally
just
just
a
like
few
it's in the
social
cinema
posts,
if you happen to see it on the canopy at the front. Yeah.
And clearly they saw that $13 million come in. Yeah, I can't remember. I did write it somewhere where it came in the box office. It was quite high up. It was like 20 something in the box office this year.
Nice.
I'm like, it came above like some like big films.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you'd be fucking gutted, wouldn't you? It's like, oh shit, got dubbed by a film, you know. But yeah, so no, it was good. You know, the fact that it made some money for them, paid for something else.
Well, they can chuck it into the pot of all the wasted money that some people say that the Acolyte was.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense. What happened?
I sensed darkness.
Generally, again, I haven't watched it again. I need to watch it again. I don't mind watching it again. I thought it was really good. I liked it. Just putting it out there. There were some plot holes. There was obviously some dodge bits, you know. But yeah, and I think it's obviously the negativity bash that came out clearly for them sort of went, right, okay, let's not do a season 2.
Yeah.
But I definitely think you could do something on that period, whether it's a Darth Plagueis series, whether it's just a Dark Side generally, you know what I mean? Like the Rise of a Young Palpatine series, like whatever, like all that is so fascinating.
Yeah.
The fact that they're coming, even if you just took it maybe a bit before, where you know what the relationship is, Plagueis and you know the other guy. So yeah, I just definitely think that you can, you know, and the fact that you end up on Yoda as well is really good. You know,
I know, mate. I know. I really want it. I really want a season 2, purely because I think they've set it up to be really, as you say, very intriguing and more looking on the dark side of things. You know.
Yeah, like I said before, we haven't really explored the dark side in these series at all. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we haven't had a Darth Vader series or a Palpatine series, or you know what I mean? Or you know, we're only just seeing glimpses of it with Obi-Wan and bits and pieces. But yeah, I think just a Rogue One. But yeah, I just think, oh yeah, let's definitely do a Darth Plagueis series, man.
So someone on Twitter, literally, like this past week, actually, they said that the reason why they didn't like the Acolyte was because the marketing made it seem like it was going to be a story just about the Sith. But did it though? I didn't get that impression. It was going to be just a straight dark side like story. Like they showed that there was Jedi in it and stuff, didn't they? Like
I thought it would be more the other way. I felt that it was going to see more of this sort of, you know, like the 100 years before the Phantom Menace and how the Jedi looked, because they look very different. You know what I mean? More the High Republic side of things. You know what I mean? Like, and we've seen the comics with some of those characters in anyway that came out about a year before this, anymore, 2 years before. You know, and you know, so if you know, like I thought that was probably more it really, because if you look at the trailers, they're you know, there's loads of Jedi stuff in it. There's loads of lightsabers and obviously and a mystery character, but we only see the girls, don't we, in the trailers?
yeah,
You know?
they didn't really try and set it up to be solely as like a Sith story.
I
didn't think. But
no, not at all.
Well, there you go.
There we
You get
go.
all
Killed
sorts on
off.
Twitter, particularly when it comes to the
yeah.
Acolyte. But yeah, I mean, I'd love a second series because I think it was intriguing to see that Quimir and Osha were like getting together, and then obviously Plagueis in the background, and then like old, what's her name, Vanestra is definitely dodge. I think.
Yeah, very dodge.
Definitely trying to either just keep things covered up, or she's talking to someone on the outside of the council. And
yeah, the whole cover up, everything, just like I don't know, it's just that whole cover up at the end was amazing.
yeah, I mean, how believable do we think it was that it costs like over 200 million or something for the whole?
I don't think it didn't feel like it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the other ones cost, like Andor and Obi-Wan. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, it probably was the budget of a movie, but you know, there were some long episodes in there. There was a lot of characters. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
I didn't think it deserved it, but I think there was a lot of backlash towards sort of like the the wokeism, I suppose. You know what I mean, as well. That it not that it portrayed it at all, but I didn't think, but that people just think that Star Wars is going down. But I don't know. I mean, yeah. So I didn't think that. Yeah, that's probably a bit more of a backlash as well. But I don't know.
but if that's all if you're watching a TV show specifically to look for wokeism,
yeah,
you're probably going to see it somewhere. But
especially Star Wars, where everyone's very diverse. Do you know what I mean? Got all sorts of aliens in it.
well, to be fair, the episode of episode 4 of Skeleton Crew had some Frenchies in it, didn't it?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They popped up for the first time, I think,
up.
properly.
Little French Revolution.
Yeah. I just don't buy all of that. Like, they're trying to force diversity onto people and stuff like that. It's just like they've given actors and actresses and performers a job to do. It's like, do you know what I mean? I don't understand all that really. But sad that there won't be a season 2. But like you say, they could maybe continue some threads of the story and do maybe like, because there was rumored to be a young Palpatine, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's rumors recently a Plagueis one as well.
Okay.
Like seems some like sort of like good mock-ups of a Plagueis and a series and stuff. So I don't know if that's again Lucasfilm or Disney just feeding that out there and just trying to get a reaction, you know what I mean, and just testing the audience, like, what's the feelers like?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think definitely it's such a huge period now that we don't know anything about. There's so much shit going on now that we find out the rise of it and everything else. Obviously, Menace didn't do that well. You know what I mean? Like we knew Darth Maul and Palpatine. You know what I mean? But it was all about sort of the other side. We never really, Palpatine wasn't in it. Darth Sidious wasn't in it huge amounts. You know what I mean? Like, and poor old Darth Maul wasn't either. So, whereas I think people would even take a movie of just on him. People take
But I suppose
movie.
the point from that being maybe is because Lucas was sort of relying on the fact that Star Wars fans of a certain age will know who Sidious is and what he becomes.
Yes.
So he doesn't really need to go into a massive sort of spiel about it,
Yeah.
And let's not forget as well, contrary to rumours that Matt Smith, who played Doctor Who in the past, was rumoured to be a young Palpatine in Rise of Skywalker, wasn't he? So there might have been some flashback stuff going on in terms of maybe showing him like wanting to start like the whole cloning process and stuff because he was worried about growing old or losing his power or whatever. But all that got nixed, didn't it? So, and he's never come out in an interview and specifically said like the character that he was going to be playing or anything. But that's like the rumors that were doing the rounds. So yeah, that would have been interesting. But then if that idea is floating around at Lucasfilm anyway, then it could become maybe a TV show in the future, and that would be one that I would approach very tentatively myself because obviously I like Palpatine. So
yeah,
as a character, don't believe in his beliefs, but I like him as a character.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was sort of our summer anyway, June and July. Bit of Acolyte, and then there was I think there was a little kids series that came out called The Young Jedi Adventures, which I think I tried to watch like an episode with them, but they weren't really into it. They wanted to watch Spider-Man, so we moved on.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't. I've never watched Young Jedi Adventures, so I can't comment. I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's very much. I think so. There's a similar series, I would say, from the Marvel world, which is like Spider-Man and his friends, and there's these other Spider-Men, and this is very much like the Young Jedi, basically the Academy, but they go on adventures, and and it's sort of that five plus, 5-6 year old age group. But they just didn't really. They were more into the Spider-Man one, where like their friend, like the Spider-Man ones, like their friends with Green Goblin, and they're friends with Doctor Octopus and things like that. They're just mates, like in the playgrounds, like it's just really shit. But they like all that sort of friendship, type thing. But we'll skirt over that. That was in August, and then September came, which was a month too late in my eyes, and they start bloody re-releasing all the films out of nowhere.
Again, to
obviously sniffed the 13 million. Went, hang on a minute.
I mean, and to be fair, not to a big fanfare again, really, was it? To be honest,
no.
Let's be honest. I only knew because my local cinema sent me an email.
Yeah,
just saying next week, bosh,
got this on.
Yeah, it's literally like we're going to do the trilogy. First one's next week, bosh. I was like, right, okay. So it was like then a case of scrabbling around, finding suitable days that I could take my youngest to go along and watch them. So
you done pretty well, didn't you? You done quite a few of them,
mate. We did really well. We did all the original trilogy, we did all the sequel trilogy, and we did Phantom Menace, obviously when it came out in the summer. So the only ones we didn't get to see were Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and Rogue One. I know Solo. I don't think Solo got put out anywhere, but Rogue One did in certain cinemas. They were the only three that we missed. So I thought we did all right.
Yeah, done really well. I went to see A New Hope. Like I thought it'd be very important to go and see that. And they did enjoy that, But yeah, you realise it is good to get and see it in the cinema since I think when the special editions came out, I don't know, it's quite sort of like a bit emotional, sort of than trying to show them something like that in the cinema. You know what I mean? I don't think they understand, but
no.
Just it's and then some did like it, some got the middle one got a bit bored, she got a bit fidgety, but it is quite good. This is sort of the older one's been quite into he playing the Lego Star Wars series, so he knows all the stories, he knows all the characters. Like it's unbelievable how much he knows without watching a film.
Yeah,
and it is unbelievable, really. But so the games do a good job for that as well. They fill in.
Yeah, I think you made the right decision, at least taking them to see the original in the cinema.
Yeah.
It definitely deserves to be seen on the big screen.
Yeah, I took them to see Phantom Menace, and I took them to see Jedi last year when that came out.
Oh yeah.
So we're nearly there. Just Empire Strikes Back. We started watching at home with the older one. He was all right into it, but the other two were a bit fidgety with the Empire Strikes Back because it's not a huge amount. There's a big gap in the middle again, isn't there?
Yeah.
Not much going on.
Yeah, it does it gets a little bit dry for little ones when it's sort of on Dagobah and stuff like that. But
that all came out of the blue, like you say. Like no one told us about it. Like just found out, and then suddenly, like I was scrabbling around different cinemas on where, because also the schedule was very different. Like you were on, I was on sort of my local one, episode 3 or something, or New Hope 4, and then either you're behind me or in front of me. I couldn't remember, but quite far or behind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we were slightly ahead of you because I remember starting to go to watch the sequel trilogy, and I think you were like, "Oh, we're going to see New Hope."
Yeah.
But then there were other cinemas in and around the area that were like, "Oh, we've got Rogue One on next week," but then another one would be like, "We're showing an Attack of the Clones," and it's like, "What's going on?" Like,
if that was in the summer, mate, I'd have been definitely every week.
Oh, mate, definitely. I mean, I made it I made it a thing in our house with my youngest. So I was just like, every Monday, if you want to, we'll go and watch the next one.
Yeah.
and he came out of each screening saying, "Yeah, well, I want to go next week" and stuff. So it became like a routine.
Yes.
So that really helped. But yeah, I mean, we tried to organise going to see Rogue One, didn't we? But we didn't quite get around to it. Yeah,
No, because it was like one time, wasn't it, on the Sunday? At
yeah,
8
like in
o'clock.
Leicester Square or something. And it was
Yeah. So it's like, oh, this is really tricky.
I
Which is
really
again
want
a
to see.
shame.
I do want to see Revenge of the Sith on the big screen again. Though. I really do.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be great. So yeah, I think just bring them out again next year, Lucasfilm.
You might as well. It's money for old rope. Isn't it?
We'll spend the money again.
We'll be there.
We just keep giving you your 10, 15 quid or whatever it is.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, the
And
screenings
then-
I went to, they were never like packed, but I mean, there was a good like, 10 to a dozen people. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, New Hope, there was, I would say, half full.
That's good.
Yeah. And that was like on a random sort of Saturday or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, it's not, and I think, again, there was not much films going on. That's obviously why they said they put it out when they did. But yeah, so, and then there was a massive chasm of a gap, really, until where we are now with Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, true. I mean, you can go back and listen to the last few episodes of Co-Clearance Blue to find out what we thought of the first 4 episodes. But it's ticking along nicely. Lots of intrigue with the planets in particular, and who Jod really is. Because obviously he seems like a straightforward bloke, but has he really got Jedi powers, and what's his backstory? And then so there's lots of intrigue going on there. And in fact, there's an episode dropping on Christmas Day, isn't there? So might just go off and watch that. See you later.
Yeah, see you later, yeah. Yeah, the episode that's just come out, and we'll be reviewing that next week with the new episode next week as well, which would be good. And then we're just gonna watch those Star Wars movies for the next week, basically.
Yeah, sounds
Try
good.
and sneak it all on.
Are you going to watch any of the films over the holiday period? Because I noticed on ITVX, when you load up the app, the first thing you see, they've got Star Wars, they've got the original trilogy and Rogue One.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's
I was
good.
like,
I do still have obviously a bit of nostalgia towards traditional TV, because especially around Christmas time, we just stick it on. It sort of just goes from one to the other.
yeah,
And sort of like, the old Radio Times, which they still print on the Christmas edition, and so like, but yeah, it's so easy now, isn't it, with all the apps, just to chuck it on whenever you want.
yeah, true. No, it was a nice little surprise.
There's a lot of Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah. Not like the old days where we had to sit through adverts every 12 minutes or whatever.
That's it. And I definitely remember there always been Star Wars on the Christmas
Yeah.
and Easter.
And Shrove Tuesday.
Return of the Jedi on every year. Empire.
No, it's all good stuff. Well, so it's been a bumper year if you've been a Star Wars fan. Lots going on. Lots to
It's a
come.
funny year,
Obviously,
isn't it?
Andor 2 next in 2025. Potentially Mando 4, maybe. And so and then obviously as their will, they might drop another little Tales of ... something. You never know.
Yeah, hopefully there's little sort of the animation series and things. But yeah, I think it's been a weird year, because I wouldn't say, like, we've had some really good years where we've had like Obi-Wan and Andor, and together, or the Mandalorian series. But yeah, this has been a bit of a starter year. We had 2 sort of new series coming out from nowhere, and then like you say, hopefully and then we sort of pick those back up, the Andor and the Mandalorian again, and the film coming out the year after as well. So yeah, no, all good.
Do you think they'll drop Mando Series 4 before the film drops?
I don't know.
Like sort of
Right.
just before, or do you think they'll drop Mando 4 in 2025 and then just have a big gap until when the film comes out?
Yeah, you would think that, when there was a Mandalorian episode that hit the night before, I can't remember which one.
The Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker, and it was all about the sort of Jedi healing process. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You would think they would do something similar, that the series would run up to the week before the movie and sort of helps push it. because they obviously want the movie to do really, really well, because these are our two sort of big new characters,
Yeah.
like bigger than the films, the sequels. You would think that that's what they want to do, or they want to do the other way around. You have the movie, and then the series starts bang straight the week after. But that doesn't make any sense to me. It makes more sense to have the series hype up the film.
Yeah,
you know?
and is the film going to be a full stop? Like, will they make that the end?
Yeah,
Rather than, because like you say, you could have the series afterwards, but then that means there's a massive gap until 2026 before the movie drops, and then there's a whole series afterwards.
yeah.
And will they? What I'll tell you, what could be good: do series 4 and sort of drop it towards the end of next year, 2025. Have the movie come out, and then maybe if they wanted to, they could do like one more ep, just to like tie everything up. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be interesting.
It feels like the movie would be a conclusion to something, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Because if you imagine like that movie, if it's an hour and a half, hour 45, and it was just 100% pure fucking, like whether the maybe Grogu gets kidnapped again, right? So if you imagine that throughout the season 4, he's okay. It's all just pottering about, being head of security on Navarro,
having a little drink on Navarro. Yeah,
having his cocktail, and suddenly someone nicks Grogu. Someone, Admiral 4 comes back, he nicks him, and that film is all about him getting him back. Then that makes it really good. But then, would they be worried then that if you just go and watch the film, you don't watch the series, that would it make any sense? But yeah, I think it would.
I think it would. Yeah, I mean, maybe not for your sort of common or garden fan. It might not though. I think they'll drop the series first, and then they'll do the film as a button to it all. Or if they want to do like a series 5, it's up to them, I suppose. But they might have to start a completely new sort of adventure for him to go on. Maybe if the Grogu stuff sort of runs out of steam or whatever. Because they can always reintroduce Grogu into like the Rey film, couldn't they? As a character.
Yeah, Rey film, and then totally, and then Ahsoka as well. That series as well coming back. So whether they pop back in again. But yeah, you're right with the Rey film, because that needs connecting. We need to know, and also whether Mandalorian and Grogu sort of explains the First Order and that beginning. We start that really, because that's a bit of a jump.
Yeah, we've got to get the genesis of the First Order, because obviously what we're dealing with at the moment is like the remnants of the Empire. But then we know, as the audience, that there's the cloning thing going on in the background. So we know Palpatine's still a thing. So like how does the First Order come about? How does Snoke implement himself in as the leader? Because obviously he's going to come out of nowhere, I guess.
Yeah.
Or the top brass of the Empire that are still knocking about obviously have to be introduced to him, and then he's like, right, this is the new figurehead or whatever. I don't know. Like, yeah, there's a lot to be explored.
Also,
go on.
The sort of like the dying of the Republic as well. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Because that doesn't feel very confident, because it seems to be like lots of shit going on.
Yep.
Without them.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, because I've rewatched the first 2 series like very recently, it cracks me up the amount of times, and particularly from characters who know that he doesn't take his helmet off. They're just like, can I buy you a drink?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I'm just like, he doesn't take his helmet off.
Yeah.
Can I buy you a drink?
Difficult.
No.
It's like when they all had their little, in the last series of Mandalorian, when they all had to, all the Mandalorians around the campfire and all had to sort of like get undressed and eat their dinner, but in different places, because they can't see each other's faces.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I mean, mate, how awkward is that? What a dinner party, like you invite these people around. Like,
Hey.
Can't show me face, mate. Can't show me face.
You have to have conversation through walkie-talkies.
Yeah, exactly.
Lovely chicken.
Yeah. You got your face off again? Yeah. Nice. Well, that concludes this year then. Happy Christmas, everyone. Thank you for listening and watching throughout the year. Like we said before, we're going to start to try and bring these a bit more regular, just because it's always good to catch up and have a chat about Star Wars. It's always good.
No, really good. Yeah, thanks to anyone that's listened or or more recently watched as well. Really appreciate it. We still love Star Wars as much as we did when we were kids, so we're going to keep going. If you're on Twitter, give us a follow at UK Star Wars Pod. Give us a like and a subscribe on YouTube as well. Now we're on there. So yeah, if there's any other business, Paul.
No, all good. Happy New Year, everybody. Or Christmas. Happy New Year.
I can smell the turkey from here.
Yeah, it's burning. Better top up with blue milk.
Technically should have said can smell the tip yip, actually.
Oh, there we go. He's on it. He knows the
Going to go and grab a cup of calf, put my feet up.
And some death sticks.
After the kids have gone to sleep, yeah. But yeah, no, thanks everyone. And on behalf of Paul and myself, a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Here's to a bumper 2025, and may the Force be with you all.
Starting our approach, deactivate the security shield.
Security deflective shield will be deactivated when we have confirmation of your code transmission. Stand by.